increased rapidly in recent years, estimated to grow at about 7% per year.
And Pailolo 368 Lima, I have that series.
Say again.
I have that series.
Thank you.
Practice carry. Oh yeah.
Be loving, take one.
As we fly past Kapalua and Kanapali, look toward the dark green fields. This is the Kanapali coffee plantation, which grows nearly 500,000 pounds of coffee per year.
Maybe a couple bumps
Today,
on the way up.
Maui-grown coffee is the largest individually operated coffee grower in the U.S. and the original and only major producer of 100% Maui origin coffee in the world. All coffee.
A couple of airlines outside the bay, and we're going to go around the north side, take a look, and we'll call you on the next flight around. Airline ready. Santa Bravo's going to be right over the field, 1300.
To Ethiopia. It was in the mid-1800s when coffee was introduced to the islands. Although coffee can be harvested year-round in Hawaii, highest production begins in late summer and extends to early spring. Shield volcanoes such as Haleakala and the volcanic mountains of the Big Island contain low amounts of silica and can give the coffee a very rich flavor with low acidity. At the height of the whaling era in the mid-1800s, Lahaina was a major center. In one season, over 400 ships visited, with up to 100 anchored at one time in Lahaina roads. Ships tended to stay for weeks rather than days, fostering extended drinking and the rise of prostitution, against which the missionaries vainly battled. Whaling declined steeply at the end of the 19th century as petroleum replaced whale oil. The big red letter L was put on the hillside to let the incoming ships know where Lahaina was. Lahaina was the capital of the Kingdom of Hawaii from 1820 to 1845, when the capital moved back to Honolulu.
Kapalua, Cessna 368 Lima is abeam the field about 2 miles offshore, about a mile offshore, 1,200.
Right here. And Santa Bravo is just heading up to the Big L, 1300.
In the 50th U.S. state in 1959.
That's the coffee plantation there.
So we had one.
It's not very good coffee, in my opinion. And that's because there's too much silica in the soil here. It really makes it acidic.
They have the beetle problem here, like they have.
No.
Can't
That's right. Okay, a couple little bumps coming up, guys. And Santa Bravo's kind of poly, we're going to switch. Roger. Santa Bravo, we'll just beam the Hyatt, and we'll be 1300 to Oluwalu.
Oh, these are crazy. I never saw them.
There's the Big L.
Yeah.
It's so green here today. Oh my goodness.
Super green from that rain last
Yeah.
night. A whale.
So what I'll do is I'll play for you a couple of pieces that where we would be at the top of the crater at this point. Manual out of dead control is good. Roger, copy. Eagle Houston, you're go for landing, over. So we timed that music just as we come up and they see the crater. Pretty dramatic.
Okay, crewmates, as we arrive at the rim of the volcano, be on the lookout for potential landing spots and areas that could provide shelter for a Martian outpost. As we observe the crater, it's important to note that volcanoes also give us evidence that at one time the interior of Mars was much hotter than it is now, just like Earth. As the volcano cooled, the release of heat also gave off vast amounts of water.
Absolutely stunning.
On Mars, Olympus Mons is estimated to have been active around 200 million years ago. That means that when it last erupted, dinosaurs were still roaming the Earth. Note the small hills and peaks as you come up to the crater. These are mounds of silica that were created by lava and the expansion of the gases. Because oxygen and silicon are by far the two most abundant elements in magma, changes in viscosity will often produce these mounds that you see from Wailea, Makena, up along the side of Haleakala. The dimples on the top of these mounds are the areas where the gas bubble bursts. Based on studies of volcanic basalt here in Hawaii, scientists now know that the magnetic field of our planet has changed many times throughout our planet's history.
Wow, look at that house.
Yeah.
I want that. Wow, it says, I need to take a picture.
Approximately every 750,000 years, it is estimated that the North and South poles flip-flop as our planet's liquid cool reverses the direction of spin.
470, release speed to 170 knots, turn right heading 250.
Here, I'll take the controls.
There's a mulatto force right here on Haleakala.
133 heavy, release speed to 190.
We're just on the leeward side. HCF Sierra 779 Bravo, Oluwalu 2000 inbound. Oh, we're fine. It just left.
Number 779 Lima Bravo, it's approach squawk 1720.
1720 9 Bravo.
And you say you got Juliet?
We have Juliet.
Okay.
Energized by the sun. The influence of the magnetic field is particularly noticeable at night at very high northern and southern latitudes in the form
33 heavy, descend and maintain 3000.
in the south, also known as the northern and southern lights. Several times a day I witness this phenomena from my vantage point while living aboard the International Space Station. Seeing these dancing curtains of auroras is a spectacular sight, especially from orbit.
Better contact the southeast of Oluwalu southeast.
9 Bravo 2000. So it'll be a little bumpy if we go around the windmills. And it'll settle.
And Neo Bravo, roger. Flight heading of 160 vector sequencing.
160, 9 Bravo. Alright, he's going to send us out this way because he's got
NHF
jet
approach
traffic.
420 is checking in. We're at 7600 for 7000 with Juliet.
420.
Yeah, you can see Mauna Kea right over there.
During my 6-month mission aboard the International Space Station, we conducted experiments that were testing technologies for advancing human health and performance that will enable deep space and long-duration missions. Living and working in space requires accepting risks, and the journey to Mars is worth the risks. On the space station, we are advancing human health and behavior research for Mars-class missions.
And then as we come down the crater, then we play...
As we descend...
33 heavy, release speed to 170 knots. And Lima Bravo, traffic is off your left side, about 11 o'clock, 2 miles, southeast, northeast bound 3000, Boeing 757, caution building.
Yeah, we got him inside 9 Bravo.
And Lima Bravo, roger, follow that, Boeing 757, straight and right 2.
We'll follow him, 9 Bravo.
And then Bravo, caution right turbulence.
Caution turbulence, 9 Bravo.
Muku 420, turn right, heading 135, vector for sequencing, gonna maintain 4000.
So maintain 4000 and 135 on the heading vectors for sequence for Moku 420.
Roger.
With you my story of returning to Earth after living and working in space for a half year.
Maui approach Cessna 3668 Lima 1400, Olowalu inbound with Juliet.
Okay, what's the call sign again?
Cessna 3668 Lima.
3668 Lima, myself. Approach block 1721.
1721.
Expect delay into Maui, got a couple guys coming in.
Okay, I'll expect the lift.
Point 33 heavy, turn right, heading 28.
To the Soyuz spacecraft with my crewmates Sasha and Andre. We closed the hatch, wiggled ourselves into our seats, and strapped in. Shoehorned into the spacecraft with our knees in our chest, we undocked and slowly backed away from the space station. Seated in the right seat, I strained to keep the space station in view out the right window for as long as possible. I realized that in all likelihood, I would never see this magnificent sight again. After undocking, we did a couple of laps around our planet, and as we passed the southern tip of South America, we fishtailed the spacecraft around to point our engines backwards. As we did this maneuver, a crescent moon passed gently across my window. On command, at precisely the right moment, we fired the engines of the spacecraft just long enough to slow us enough to enter the upper levels of the atmosphere. The large sledgehammer bang of explosive bolts separated our spacecraft into three distinct pieces, with the three of us in the center descent module, which contained the only heat shield. I watched as debris from the separation tumbled out from us in all directions. If all went as planned, the part we were in would be the only part to survive the fiery re-entry. As we entered the atmosphere, the black sky started to turn pink as the temperature increased around our spacecraft. I watched sporadic sparks shoot past the window and rapidly increase in intensity until it resembled the fountain of sparks seen in some fireworks displays. As our altitude decreased, the sense of speed increased rapidly, in spite of what appeared to be a very steep descent. I thought, there goes Africa, as we rapidly passed across the continent. Soon the sparks became flames and my window turned black with soot. What followed was a very violent ride through the atmosphere. At one point, Andre, who was in the left seat, yelled out in Russian, "It's just like an American amusement park ride." But this was far more violent than any ride I had been on. When we were finally stabilized under the parachute, a layer of film was jettisoned from our windows and we could see out again. I watched through my mirror on my wrist as the ground rose up to meet us. We slammed into the ground considerably harder than I anticipated, and I thought, I'm glad that's over, not knowing that we had bounced and still had a few more landings to go.
Alaska 800, contact HF departure.
ATF now, Alaska 800, good day.
That's just from the as the wind goes around the window.
Left shoulder and Andre wedged into his, nice and cozy, with all the other debris that had been dislodged during the impact. As we hung there in our seats, waiting for the rescue forces to arrive, I looked out the window that was now pointing at the ground. I saw a rock, a flower, and a blade of grass, and I thought, I'm home. Then the significance of that thought dawned on me. I was home, but I was in Kazakhstan. In that moment, I realized in a very profound way that my home is no longer only Houston, Texas, where I currently live. It's Earth. I hope that your experience today provided you an expanded view not only of Mars, but also of the wonderful planet that we live on, and how fortunate we are that our Earth was placed at the perfect spot in the solar system to allow for the existence of life. Thank you for participating in this space analog mission. In reality, we are all in space already, each and every one.
Hawaiian 46 Heavy, Maui Tower, turn left on Charlie, hold short of runway 2. Be ready when landing traffic exits.
Alright, left on Charlie, we'll be ready. And hold short of runway 2, line 46 Heavy.
09 Lima Bravo, caution wake turbulence, heavy Boeing 767 will depart prior to arrival.
Roger, Bravo. Alright, you want to try landing now? Follow my direction. Grab the stick. Alright, so we're going to just aim. It's pretty calm, so we're going to aim for the center line of the runway. You can put one hand here on the throttle. So we're just aiming. And the wind may kind of take you a little bit left to right, just correct for it. Oh, there you go. Good. A little bit more to the right. The wind's going to try and drift you to the left. There you go. Good. Once we're over the sugar mill,
turn
we'll
left
slow
on
up a little
Alpha,
bit more.
cross runway 5, and then contact ground. Traffic is waiting to depart.
Left Alpha, cross 5, going to ground. United 417.
Hawaiian 46 Heavy, Maui Tower, traffic Cirrus, 4 mile final, runway 2, clear for takeoff.
Runway 2, clear for takeoff, Hawaiian 46 Heavy.
Alright, we're going to reduce power a little bit to about 30%, which is right there.
Runway 2.
Hawaiian 33 Heavy, Maui Tower, runway 2, clear to land. Number 2 following a Cirrus, 3.5 mile final, runway 2.
Perfect.
Clear to land, runway 2. Hawaiian 33 Heavy. Wind shift here as we get close to the sugar mill. No big deal. Good, looking good. Right check.
Wind 060 at 20, gust 29er.
Alright, we're just going to bring the throttle back just a little bit more. Good, right there, perfect. And then we're going to put in some more flaps here, just a second. Okay. Alright, now we're just going to add a little bit of power.
Hawaiian 46 Heavy, contact 8 departure.
The wind gusts right through here. That's why these kite surfers love this wind.